Welcome to week 2 of SED 445. We just wanted to provide a little overview for you of what this week will look like since there is online and face-to-face meetings. So if you take a look at our ReggieNet for week 2 objectives, you'll see that we have our checklist here where you're going to watch the overview video, which is what this is right now. There are some required readings for you to complete, and then you're going to evidence that reading on Kami and Padlet. There's a lecture that you're going to watch that is related to unpacking the standards. And then there's going to be a learning activity that you will do and an assignment to complete. I also, though, wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the team presentations. So there's a link here for the assignment, and you'll see below that there are teams that you have submitted via the Google survey. So if you're going to be completing the team presentation option 1 or option 2, and I'll add additional names as people continue to submit the category that they will be working in. You'll have some time during that first face-to-face session where you'll be able to collaborate with the other members in your team and kind of develop what your actual topic will be. And then after you have that face-to-face session, you all will be evidencing that collaboration in a Google folder. So there is a Google folder set up, and you'll see that each of your teams are listed, and then when you click into your team, there will be a team presentation document where you will just include what is the topic that your team has decided. Here you will include what your names are, and then for each of these additional categories here, they align to the project description in step 2 of either option 1 or 2. And then the final category, since each person is required to evidence that they are contributing something from the research, you're going to include the article that you have selected that will help support your final presentation. So when we look at our project description, make sure that you just kind of start looking over that curricular area team presentation. So you all are going to be presenting that on June 23rd, and then you'll see on Monday, June 25th is when you will upload your final project. And so each of you are in a category of either option 1 or option 2, but really the only part that's different for each is really that step 1 part. So those of you, looks like the majority of you chose option 1, and so you're going to be connecting to the general education curriculum, and here are some ideas of some topics that you can use. And it's really important that your whole team agrees on an area of focus. And then for step 2, you're going to be answering these 3 questions. What do you know about teaching students with disabilities? What issues exist around this? And what are some general adaptations and modifications? So those are the pieces that you're going to be addressing in that table within the Google folder. And then step 3, this is where you actually, when you're kind of getting into the project, after you've decided your topic and you've done some research findings, then you're going to ultimately decide one of these 5 areas for your presentation and then conduct a literature search to help you determine the necessary information to present to the group. So you can have more time to read that on your own, but just want you to start thinking about that. Option 2 really is very similar. The only difference is it's about the alternative curriculum, so those learners that are connected to the dynamic learning maps. So as I mentioned, you'll have some time in class to start brainstorming with your peers what your topic is going to be, but then you'll really need to be using that Google folder to document, and feel free to upload any additional documents that you all are using, articles, resources, Google Slides, whatever you choose to do in that folder. That's just helpful for Jamie and I to be able to check in periodically too and see that everybody's kind of moving in on the right track. So the next thing that we're going to take a look at are your required readings. So the first reading that really is going to be critical as you're starting that curriculum development project is the Morgan et al. Article. And we're going to be utilizing a resource here called Kami. And you can sign in through your Google account, and it will allow you to pose questions. So you'll see throughout that I have highlighted and inserted some different questions that I would like for you to answer those questions. Also, you can pose your own questions, highlight, etc. Again, this evidences your deep reverence for learning and participating with your peers. The second article, you have a choice. So there's 4 different articles that you can read. And again, to evidence your takeaway, you're going to access the Padlet. And so whichever article you choose to read, then you're going to post what your key takeaways were from that article. There's an optional reading there, and then the next piece is the lecture. So there's a PowerPoint version of it, and then there is an actual video where Dr. Joswick is helping us to better understand how to unwrap those standards and come up with some essential questions. So then the learning activity for the week, there's some documents here that you can access and choose which one works best for you for unwrapping, unpacking those standards. So you can take a look at each of those and see which one fits your needs. There are some additional resources here if you would like to access them to further your knowledge. And then finally, there is a brief online assignment that you will submit. So you're going to choose one of the standards that you think you will be using during the coming school year. You're going to practice unwrapping that skill and arriving at an essential question that is thought-provoking for your learners. So you will submit that through this tab here. And those are the major activities for this week. Again, at the end of the week, you'll have your face-to-face session with Jamie, where she's going to be digging deeper into that understanding by design and get you ready so that you can start working on that curriculum development project. That's going to be the other major assignment other than the team presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to access that forum where you can ask general questions. Also, email Jamie and I if you have questions. Let us know if there's any problems accessing the Google folder. I have it set up now that anyone with the link can edit, but I know sometimes that can be tricky. So if there are any troubles or problems at all, please feel free to contact us. Thanks so much, guys, and hope you have a great week.